Hello, this is Coin Lady channel talking about how the XRP price performed in 2021 when the SEC was asserting that it was a security. The price rose to $2, and while that was encouraging, it failed to break into new all-time high territory, which was disappointing. However, XRP doesn't seem to have any major flaws. Things like that do occur. We witnessed how XRP4 fared in similar conditions back in 2021. Just wanted to let you know that I'm prepared for this now. Let's watch the XRP price to see how it does. And now that XRP has been deemed a non-security, I want to see all the LCL XRP performs because it is now unshackled, and there is a hedge fund CEO that says, and there is a quote from him, "We can rally now." This will happen the next time the crypto market enters euphoria and there is incredible excitement, and you get the Bitcoin maxis out there with their laser eyes and their diamond hands, and then the idiot celebrities jump in. And I'm going to tell you exactly why he's making these claims. And by the way, this CEO of a hedge firm also happens to be pro-XRP. Moreover, he has made this remark during the past few years. And I didn't delete it because of this video I've referenced before, in which you mentioned that in a decade or two, there might be a dozen cryptocurrencies that have any sort of true lasting power, and XRP is going to be one of them. How come? Because it serves a practical purpose. And he delves into this, which is fascinating to me because I'd never considered it before. But as we all know, XRP and the crypto markets generally follow stock prices. This is a fact, we have no doubt. He has some subtle reasoning and explanation for that, which I wanted to share with you. He says that it's not really the crypto assets themselves, that, is going in line with stocks. The thing is, I had never seen it discussed anyplace else. If he is correct, then decoupling will occur in the long run. But in the interim around these parts, we've seen XRP trading around the low 60% range for the better part of 2 days. In addition, I'm thrilled to finally be here. While I share the disappointment of those who had hoped for a new high after the verdict a few weeks ago, I must say, amen. I'll be here for as long as it takes, regardless of how lengthy that may be. I am only an XRP holder. Still, I have faith that we will succeed in obtaining our goal. Please understand that I am not a financial expert and am not giving any sort of financial advice. And remember, you should never use anything I say as a reason to buy or sell something. I'm merely a hobbyist who likes to share his knowledge on crypto-related issues through YouTube videos. But only as a pastime and for entertainment purposes. This supplementary charge is currently 61 cents as of the recording date. Over the past 24 hours, $923 million has been traded. So, I'd say from what I'm roughly estimating, and that range is somewhere there. So, before the SEC action happens, I'd say anywhere from close to maybe close to 700 million for a 24-hour period, up to maybe $1 billion on the high end, would be a pretty common 24-hour volume. That puts us roughly where we were when the good news came out a few weeks ago. Your story today is headlined XRP 12% reversal is more than possible data shows, thus that's what we have. And I have no interest in reading the piece. However, one thing they noticed was that volume has been going down. And while it may sound negative at first, I'd argue that it's not that bad if volume is back to where it was and XRP is still trading at 61 cents, which is far higher than it was in the upper 40s/47 cent zone before the verdict. If trading volume is decreasing, it may be a sign that Bitcoin's price is about to fall more, though this is by no means guaranteed. But aside from that, I'd like to reassure you that the sell pressure on XRP has returned to where it was a few weeks ago, before the judgment. Doesn't that imply that everyone who was looking to make a quick buck by selling their stock jumped to their feet? Doesn't that imply that maybe they're already out of their roles? In my opinion, it is probably the case. That said, it's still conceivable to drop even farther if a black swan event occurs or Bitcoin continues to slide. In reality, a reputable crypto posted something like this on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. And here's a Bitcoin/US dollar chart that shows just how popular he was with his 343,600 followers. For those who care to look, you can even make out a green area near the bottom. Therefore, he has been in this range and has been discussing it for quite some time, if not for the entirety of this month at the very least. He's simple, and maybe Bitcoin will drop as low as you know what he's called, so what do you want to call it? In the middle of the 20,000s. From there, he estimates a rise to anything like $31,000 or more is likely. That, at least, is what the graphs are showing. What follows is his rather subdued response to our progress in the green zone. We hope to see some strength here soon, but given that it is the weekend, it is possible that things may improve once the work week begins. Otherwise, we may have just one more local load to go. He may see one more local low end in the 28,000s, so I thought I'd put it out there as a little note, tiny asterisk for you to be aware of if that happens, and he's not 100% sure. That, he believes, is where things would turn upward. If that does occur, though, keep in mind that XRP is following Bitcoin's lead. In that case, the price of XRP could fall even further in response to such a development. This is not a complicated concept, the asset class in general. I'm not a fan of TA. I stay away from technical evaluations. Please don't kill me with dullness. Having lived in this area for nearly 60 years, though, I am well aware of this. If it happens, the whole structure collapses. So, all I'm saying is, you should prepare as though it were inevitable. That's the kind of stuff that would make my skin crawl. What I mean is this. To be honest, I'm not scared of the market's volatility or of cryptocurrencies in general. What would really scare me is if someone discovered a fatal flaw in the design of a blockchain and I happened to be holding a coin on that chain. They may need to take swift action. Hackings and other forms of direct fraud can be very unsettling. You know, it can be worrisome if the cryptocurrency you possess comes under attack from those tiny asshat pricks at the SEC. The fact that goods exist and pricing changes as a result of them is acceptable by me. But if all you're talking about are idiotic speculators, you know, regular retail living speculators, who drive the price up or down, well, let me just say down in particular, that doesn't affect me emotionally and doesn't concern me. Because they're helpful fools, the people you know won't be too upset if they raise prices. Okay, then I get that sorrowful expression. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate how helpful this was. What a cute group of dunderheads they all are. Oh, check out this headline from today's meeting. Dan Morehead, CEO of a 41,960% profitable hedge fund, thinks Bitcoin is due for a rally. Here, in his own words, is his forecast. This is the CEO of Pantera Capital, who was mentioned at the beginning of the film. And it was he who said, sometime in the previous few years or so, that if you fast forward approximately a decade, XRP would be one of the few cryptocurrencies that actually remained. I still find his belief that everything else reduces to zero reasonable. Over 20,000 different digital currencies exist today. We don't require that many at all. It's not hard to see that. Peace is expressed as follows, however. Bitcoin has survived a prolonged down market, but according to the CEO of Pantera Capital, the tide is shifting. In addition, according to the latest information from Morehead, the sector has suffered enough from the recent collapse of Terra and crypto exchange FTX to be prepared for a bull market. I think it's important to point out this, even while he has said things like, hey, you know, we can rally, there's no time for a bull market. Just because he says something doesn't make it so, a cheaper price is still possible. Imagine going forward in time a few years from now, and you'll get a better idea of how things will be. Then you can take a look at the results and mark them on a graph. This is when Dan Morehead said, we're ready for the poor bull market, and the chart displays all the price movement prior to and following that time. Once you zoom out to that degree, you can see a large number of years before and beyond, so even if we move down from that point, you'll discover the same thing, assuming he's right, anyhow. To put it another way, you won't even notice if you fell a small bit if you've zoomed out all the way. Therefore, he is not implying that it is physically impossible to go lower now. We don't mean to imply that. It just indicates the onset of favorable circumstances. Things are unstable, that much is true. However, even if you experience a minor setback, the trend is likely to be positive. I find it hard to believe that anything other than that is the most likely outcome, given the trends that have persisted over the entire year 2023, barring, of course, a black swan event. Okay, I guess I should find out what was the catch for me. But apart from that, I don't see how someone could still be bearish. It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. Whatever the case may be, allow me to cite Dan Morehead. After 35 years of trading, I can say with confidence that market declines have a finite duration. It's been a year since Terra Luna cut SPF and investors could take no more. We have waited long enough to file a lawsuit together. Now that the asset products at the SEC have lost and XRP has been deemed by Judge Torres to not be a security, I am ready to see how XRP behaves now that it is unfettered, as I indicated at the opening of the movie. And I'm ready for it. I am prepared to do this for as long as it takes. I feel like I've been waiting forever for this. And if it weren't for this frivolous litigation, I probably would have watched it in 2021. In my opinion, the most practical coin is the one that makes the most sense. Also, I invested the most money there out of all my cryptos. The SEC had its sights set on that one. I appreciate it. The gratitude is mutual. Holy crap. Therefore, it's good news that crypto exists. Things like that are inevitable in life. The SEC just attacks people sometimes, right? The SEC then proceeds to attack you. On the other hand, life throws you some curveballs every once in a while. Although I am in a much better position now than I would have been without crypto and holding XRP, I am somewhat dissatisfied with the lack of truly life-changing money that I had anticipated by 2021. Missed the entire market cycle due to the SEC, but I'm still here, I'm still smiling, I can't control any of this anyhow, and I'm in a better position today than I would have been otherwise. And that just seems reasonable to me. I won't be crying over it. However, have a look at this. According to the CEO, all is well, and traditional markets have been uncoupled from digital assets. As a result, many market watchers may be overestimating the impact of a potential decline in equities or bonds on cryptocurrency. So, this is the second portion I mentioned at the beginning of the movie, so listen up. And this is a point of view I've never considered before. And I hope that this is the case. I'm hoping this is a really bright person, but if not, at least check out this quote and let me know what you think in the comments below. For the vast majority of their existence, blockchain assets had almost little association to risk assets, which is merely hard to discern in the present. Substituting Bitcoin for blockchain in transactions. After 9 years, there was a 0.03 correlation between the index and the S&P 500. That was a crucial point in the debate. When a new type of investment asset is discovered that has a very low correlation to other types of investments yet has a very high rate of return in the past. The ideal financial investment. Please let me to pause there. Because he is a data-driven individual, I have no reason to doubt his word without independently verifying the accuracy of the data. However, I think it's important to point out that there is a strong association between the largest stock market swings and economic events. Those are the ones that really count, after all. Therefore, it is acceptable if there is a 0.03, and let's pick a few months' worth. It was still around at the right times. Anyway, I'll finish his quote for you. This is where things get even more intriguing for me, because he does admit that a spiking chord, or large spike in correlation, ultimately emerged. Look at this, then. Oh, and by the way, a correlation of 1 would be 100%. Correlation, which is something to keep in mind when discussing it here. The weaker the relationship becomes as you approach zero. Thus, when you mentioned 0.03, you were referring to a correlation that is fundamentally low since it is close to zero, whereas 1 would be 100%. Everyone else is over here. The correlation peaked at 7.6 in 2017 due to a number of factors, including highly leveraged decentralized businesses and the alleged criminal Sam Bankman, who was roasted in our space. The main asset classes, stocks, bonds, and real estate, tend to be highly correlated with interest rates, whereas blockchain has no such connection. There is now a negative link between Bitcoin and the S&P 500 once again. Okay, data's data, I'll gladly accept him too. Having lived in this area for only 6 years, though, I can confidently claim that my last relocation was the largest. You can still see how fascinating they are even if that only accounts for a small fraction of the time. And if he's saying that it's just happening because the centralized entities are building the centralized, traditional finance entities, either building on top of blockchain and having an impact there, or if it's impacting investment as it relates to crypto, but it's leveraged, then he's wrong. Okay. Alright, then. But it does leave me wondering what the future holds. Is it possible that cryptocurrency will one day serve as a safe haven against uncertain times, much like gold has in the past? For the simple reason that it hasn't happened yet with crypto. So I'll trust his information and concede that it works quickly. That's why I thought it was important to stress that I've never considered it this way before. But if we're talking generally, I think what people care about most is that what we're discussing is something that can be used as insurance against uncertain times. After all, it's a major theme of the Bitcoin story. In the most crucial moments, I still don't perceive that direction. Therefore, it is possible that this will become a fact in the future. I guess I'm simply saying that I don't see it at the moment. And I think it makes for a good conversation starter. The only thing to do is let time pass and watch what develops. But perhaps eventually we shall witness that whole decoupling from a navigational standpoint. As of yet, I have not witnessed it. Furthermore, from my perspective, it makes no difference. It's certainly intriguing, but supply and demand are the only two factors that may truly affect the price. But my main argument, which I bring up very often when we discuss this topic, is that hardly no people are involved in crypto at the moment. And so, in your opinion, will there be a great deal more in the future? Will more than 50% of all people be exposed to this type of investment at some point? I guess I could make an argument for that. I just don't have a precise time estimate for it. But that seems like a fantastic chance to me. Which of these two stories does the Bitcoin maxis like to explain the cryptocurrency? In reality, it makes no difference. I mean, it's a nice subject to discuss, and I like talking about stuff like that. I don't think the average speculator coming in and investing and hobbling will care about what it means for us humans in the long run, especially at this early stage in the adoption of crypto. Sorry, but I don't buy it. No, I don't give out financial advice. Nothing I say should influence any purchases you make for yourself. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.